All right, so we got another person that passed away at an early age. This nigga passed away under 40 at 35 years old as a bodybuilder because he's on roids. I'm not gonna make this light.
FBI, open
They that do
up!
that roid shit, that sell that shit, should go to jail. That's how I feel.
Within days of the competition, he collapsed and is no longer with us. If a bodybuilder who we know is using performance enhancing drugs, do not think that that had something to do with their demise. Coach Greg, and in today's video, sadly, we lost another one, an IFBB pro bodybuilder by the name of Mason Araújo. And so Mason, he hails from Brazil, an IFBB pro, has an amazing physique. He was shredded. The small waist absolutely peeled. The perfect
Look at this man. Now let's be real. Let's not get off like. Well, we all know all these bodybuilding niggas that go to competitions that's not considered natural bodybuilding pro. Like if it doesn't say natural on this shit, then you know you're the other way. If it doesn't say natural on it, then you're doing the other shit. IFBB pro doesn't say natural on it, which means that this nigga's on roids. He did some kind of medicine or some shit to get, you know, what you had 30K followers, nigga. I'm not trying to God forbid, I'm not trying to diss the dead in any kind of way. I'm just trying to shed light to this shit. I am not dissing the dead, but nigga, look at this dude, bro. Look at this dude. His shoulders is bubbled up. You could tell that's some roid shit. That's roid juice in his body. It's not hard. It's not really that hard to understand that all the motherfuckers that's not a natural IFBB pro is 90% of them niggas is on roids. The other 10% is just losing because they losing to niggas on roids. It's not like that's what niggas do nowadays. That's the new shit since 2015, really since 2020 when COVID hit, everybody started doing that shit. But 2015, 2010, matter of fact, fuck that nigga. Back when Arnold Schwarzenegger was doing shit, Mike Menzer was working out. Dumb boys. Mike Menzer was literally coming second place every time to Arnold Schwarzenegger and some other niggas that was always on roids until he decided to start injecting roids into his body too. So it's the roids is the real winner, but it's the killer at the end of the day. That's how this bodybuilding shit not is for the birds, bro. When it comes to like trying to be a IFBB pro, knowing that you risking your life, like nah, bro, just do it the natural way, gang. It's not that serious.
And he was
It's not,
planning
bro.
to compete yet again in the hopes of qualifying for this year's Mr. Olympia. Unfortunately, within days of the competition, he collapsed and is no longer with us.
This is the last thing that this guy ever posted. A photo in the gym, just like anybody else, and he's prepping for a show with a caption that reads, "In the process and enjoying every day." And a few hours, literally a few hours after this post went up, he was found dead. And he was only 35 years old.
Mason Aurora, 35, fell ill at home in Alagoas, Brazil. This was on Monday, so approximately 5 days before the weekend's muscle contest, an event some athletes are using as a stepping stone for the prestigious Mr. Olympia event later in the year. The muscle man couldn't be saved after collapsing despite the best efforts of his mom, who is a nurse, as well as first responders who rushed to the scene.
They're doing it most of the time win nothing. Like the grand majority of bodybuilders that are competing actively and doing these shows are winning nothing.
Technically, they're correct. You don't get a large amount of money from competing in bodybuilding, but competitors, they compete for more than just prize money. Even if there was no money at all, for example, in the amateur ranks, people would still compete. I competed 42 times natural and never won any money at a competition. And even as a pro, blasting steroids for approximately 10 years, I still didn't win any money as a pro. We're not just competing for a plastic trophy. It isn't for money. It's for a combination of everything. The drive to be the best. And unfortunately, when you're competing at this level,
Yeah, I fuck with that, and I stand by that. Just want to be the best you yesterday, better than the day before, blah blah blah. But when you have to inject something that's not already within you, it is not that serious. It's not that serious, bro. It's not because most of y'all don't win anything. Y'all don't win shit for it to really be that serious. And you're not the best if you're injecting steroids into your body. So that sounds good to natural bodybuilders. It doesn't. It sounds like bullshit to a nigga that's on roids, bro. Like you're not the best. You're
If
not. You're not the
others are
best,
doing
bro.
something, you're probably going to have to do the same thing in order to be competitive. And that is the use of polypharmacy, aka several different drugs, in order to bring your best look on stage. Add to that at the Mr. Olympia level or even at the amateurs, people using things such as PMMA, permanent filler within the muscle, or perhaps you've heard of synthol or hyaluronic acid, and some will even use implants in various parts of their bodies.
I can accept similar to, a professional football player's career. They may get a traumatic brain injury, but at the end of the day, their career has earned them 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars. That's kind of a good trade-off if you ask me.
I gotta disagree. It isn't even close to a good trade-off. If you told me that for $60 million, I'm going to have a traumatic brain injury, that I'm going to die an early death 20 years younger, it isn't even close to worth it. Now, when you're young, for example, Coach Colton, he's very, very
Yeah, I
young.
believe was more worth
You
it
don't
than
see
being a
things the
bodybuilder,
same way
being
as you
broke,
do when
and
you're
then
60.
you're on
If you
roids.
find out, like this guy, that you've reduced years off of your life, you most certainly would regret those choices when you get older.
In this video, for example, he's flexing, so you could argue like this is him tensing that's making his head shake, but he has like these really weird like vibrations going on to his head, which do kind of make me consider the fact that there could be a very large degree of stimulants going on here.
And so, of course, there's stimulants going on. Almost everyone dieting for bodybuilding competitions are using, for example, clenbuterol or T3, T4. Many are even using harsher compounds, like, for example, using some adding. I can't say the name, don't want to get demonetized. Recreational substances that are banned. Not saying that he is, but many actually are.
These things, depending on their current potassium intake, will create an environment where you deplete so much sodium and elevate potassium so high that you get hyperkalemic, which can cause your heart to literally just seize and stop.
And so he mentions hyperkalemia, which is having elevated levels of potassium. And one thing we know that causes this is the use of certain diuretics. Seeing as he was Monday leading into a show on the weekend, many bodybuilding coaches have their athletes use aldactone far too soon, way ahead of the competition, because the athletes, they want to think that the coach is helping them. And when they say, hey, I don't look as dry as I should be, I've seen on Instagram other guys and they look leaner than me, the coaches will deploy the use of aldactone far too soon. And why is aldactone not a good idea, at least this far from competition? Well, because aldactone can in fact cause hyperkalemia because it's a potassium-sparing diuretic. When you take this diuretic, you're going to pee out significantly more, you're going to look leaner, you're going to look drier, but your potassium levels, they can stay elevated, aka it's potassium sparing. You're not getting rid of the potassium. To the opposite extent, something such as Lasix is going to pee out more potassium. And so you could have very low levels. We've heard of people taking Lasix, for example, getting cramps. People who've taken Lasix have also died on stage. I believe Mohammed Benaziza and Andreas Munster are two examples of that. But don't quote me. I could be wrong. Actually, you can quote me. I don't care if I'm wrong. And another diuretic that people often will take is hydrochloride.
The fact that you can just die from just trying to lean yourself out and get stronger because you decide to add something to your body that's not naturally within your body, bro. I don't care how you saying this shit, Mike. I don't care about any. All this shit's bullshit. It sounds like you're trying to save face for the niggas that's taking these steroids because you've taken it before, and you also said in your videos before that you wouldn't recommend it for people. I know you're saying it now, but it just seems like you're trying to save face. Like, bro, at the end of the day, it's bullshit. At the end of the day, this whole bodybuilding thing is bullshit when it comes to every nigga wanting to be on steroids that enter a bodybuilding show. It's bullshit. It shouldn't be allowed. It should have never been allowed, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It should have been different. But of course, we got the bronze era, the silver era, the golden era, the modern era. So at some point, it was going to be a change. Cool, I understand that. My eyes, I feel like it should not be allowed at all. Some bullshit. Like it's cheating. Plus, y'all are killing yourselves, and most of y'all not getting shit from it. It's fucking retarded, bro. I just don't care. You just want to have a big ass chest and be like, "Ooh, look at me," and then die in the next 10 days. Fuck.
Chlorothiazide with triemterene. Now, this diuretic in combination has essentially the canceling out effect. One is going to lower potassium levels, the other is going to raise it. And so essentially they can kind of cancel each other out. None of these diuretics technically are safe. Obviously, diuretics should be used with the advice and consent of your doctor. I've used diuretics for years. The first 42 shows that I did were 100% natural. After that, I did in fact use diuretics. And not only that, I did them in higher doses as well for powerlifting competitions in order to lose significant amounts of weights faster than last time. Looking back, this isn't safe, this isn't healthy, but remember, anything to try and win the competition. If you are in fact entering a bodybuilding competition and your coach is telling you to take aldactone on a Monday or even sooner, ask them, are you sure I need to start this early? Like, what is the benefit? Aldactone is a longer acting diuretic, as in it takes longer to kick in, but it doesn't take a week. You don't have to look shredded a week before the competition. The judges do not judge you based on how you look on Instagram on a Monday morning a week before the competition. Essentially, you're playing Russian roulette with your health. Some people have amazing genetics. They can use and abuse lots of steroids, perhaps diuretics as well, and still live with no problems. Other people, it's quite the opposite. They use a little bit, and even that is dangerous to their health. The problem is you don't know which one you are. You can't just go to the doctor and get some blood work and say, hey, I'm safe because the blood work looks good, and so let's blast as much as we can. It doesn't work like that. Unless you're getting blood work each and every day and analyzing it, how would you know? You wouldn't. That is the problem.
Now, you compile diuretic usage with steroids and stimulants. All of these things are going to massively impact cardiac function. Massively.
Just how much could it impact cardiac function? Like, how dangerous is taking steroids and perhaps on top of that diuretics, really? And so, just so that you have an accurate comparison, does anyone think that being a chain smoker or smoking a lot of cigarettes is actually healthy? I think we all know that it's dangerous. And so what's more dangerous, smoking or bodybuilding by using performance-enhancing drugs? Well, in comparison to bodybuilding, abusing steroids, for example, the way that
Nigga, I smoke ganja, nigga. See this blunt papers in my hand? I smoke ganja, right? Now, of course, you said cigarettes, but it's still the same like system. You're inhaling something and you're blowing something out. Pause. With that being said, my shit that I'm inhaling is, God's green earth. But I'm not gonna say, well, that's been said a lot because it's true. Like, I know a lot of potheads that get gains in naturally and they have no problem. That it heals you when after you get a good workout in, you go smoke some weed and eat your food, eat your protein, or carb up if you do carb up before you work out and then carb up after you work out. Okay, you eat your pasta, eat your sweet potatoes after a good ass blunt, and some electrolytes. Brother, you feeling magnificent. And you still have great blood work. Still very healthy. You know what I'm saying? To where cigarettes, yeah, totally different situation. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I did.
Totally different situation.
Smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for 10 years is not even close to as dangerous as bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, way more dangerous. On a scale of 1 to 10, ChatGPT rates one pack a day for 10 years as a 5.5 out of 10. Using steroids, blasting, for just 5 years is more dangerous than smoking a pack of cigarette a day for 10 years. And so 5 years abusing steroids, it's already worse. I did it for 10. 10 years, it's an 8 out of 10 danger level. And if you add in the use of diuretics on top of that, it's a 9 out of 10. And so the next time you think, oh, bodybuilding isn't all that dangerous, well, do you think that smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for 10 years is dangerous? Because if you do, this is far worse. Imagine this. There are bodybuilders out there who use steroids and diuretics and smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol. Imagine how dangerous it is to use all of these in combination.
And to be honest, in the last posts that he made, specifically the very last one where he died hours later, he doesn't look okay. In these pictures, he looks in every single one sort of disconnected.
And so he mentions at this time he doesn't look as happy, he doesn't seem as excited. This very well could be true. I remember the last competition that I went to when I barely could make the weight. When I went to the weigh in, I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't smile. I wasn't happy because I was literally on my deathbed. I was barely able to walk. As I stepped on the scale, I almost passed out. I could barely keep it together because I had to weigh in at 185 pounds to make classic physique. Now, since that time, they've added 7 pounds to the weight class. But you can imagine when you're 194 pounds the day before the competition, shredded, and you then need to lose 9 pounds more. You're not drinking water, taking diuretics, and what do you think is going to happen? And so I'm barely functional. A different bodybuilding competition, I remember I went to my room at Canadian Nationals. The door was locked. My key wasn't working. I didn't have the energy to go back down to the lobby, and so I laid on the floor in front of my room. Waited to get some help so that somebody could open my door. I didn't have the energy to get up and walk to the lobby. This is the day before competition. And so that is the level of suffering that you're doing sometimes in order to win a bodybuilding competition. When you're trying to make weight classes, you're trying to get shredded, when you're not eating, you're not carved up, this is the result of it. Now, does everyone suffer to this level? No. Some people don't use diuretics. Some people don't need them. But others, well, they're going to do whatever it takes. And if using diuretics is going to help even 1%, for me, it probably helped 5, it makes a significant difference, then I was going to do it. But looking back, I'm thinking, was it really worth it? Was it really worth me dieting down from 224 pounds to 198 pounds in one day in order to make a weight class for powerlifting? Taking 10 Lasix pills at once in order to lose 1 more pound when nothing was working. Leaving that weigh-in with no shoes. Not being able to drive, having friends drive me around, and that is what I thought was worth doing in order to break records and to win these competitions. And so when I speak about these things, I speak from experience. I know what it was like. And like him, I would have also done whatever it takes. At the time, it seemed like it was worth it because that is your world. That is your everything.
You know, the cause of death was undisclosed. You don't know what's going on. Dude, let's be honest.
That's terrible. That's your whole world is to like okay, that's your whole world is bodybuilding. So in that case, you decide to blast yourself with a whole bunch of shit that doesn't belong in your body because that's your world. That's not a good excuse, Mike. I'm sorry, it's not a good excuse. And if you're not trying to make an excuse, I understand, but it's just hard to just say stupid. It's not smart. It is not smart, bro. It's not worth it. At your young age, no matter what time you ate, no, it's not worth it, bro. It's not. Stupid, bro.
Like a 35-year-old doesn't just fall over dead that happens to be a bodybuilder who also happens to be like a week out from his next show.
No cause of death was released, but do we really need a cause of death? A lot of times people, they pass away and we don't learn why. They don't want to post about it. These are private details from families. But we can still speculate. We can still make videos in order to help people. If a bodybuilder who we know is using performance enhancing drugs, or at least we assume that they are because, hey, frankly, basically everyone else is, do not think that that had something to do with their demise. And so, of course, if you want to see if you're healthy, what damage they've been doing, you can go to AlGoreX. You can get your blood work taken. Doctors can prescribe medications. Or why not just stay natty? You can use things like, for example, Turk Builder Max, or the newest supplement on the block known as Ferula Max, which for most people is going to double your testosterone levels or more. It's WADA approved, which means you will pass all drug tests. You are 100% natural while using this, while experiencing the greatest boost in testosterone you'd ever seen. Far more potent than, for example, G-Test Platinum. This is the best new supplement in decades, and you can only...
Mike, if you don't get the fuck out my face with this goddamn shit you selling, look, bro.
get it at HTL.
At the end of the day, he passed away. Condolences to his family or whatnot, cause buddy's gone. But look, bro, just say it like this, man. It's not worth it. You can still you can still make money being a natural bodybuilder. in a lot of different ways by easily just being a personal trainer. You don't have to. It may take a little bit longer, but you do not have to be no fucking nigga injecting medicine into your body to try to get swollen big just to get paid and be famous. It's 2026. Everybody's doing a whole bunch of different shit. You just have to follow. You just have to find your niche and your tribe of people that fuck with you. That's it. But they don't know you out there if you ain't putting yourself out there. So I'm pretty sure they put themselves out there and they got gassed up and they was like, fuck it, let me just go ahead, let me hit the roids real quick. And they see what happened. This nigga, there's no way he's unhealthy. You've seen his body. There's no way he's unhealthy other than if he's on the opposite side of this shit and he's taking roids. Like we don't have to know the actual reason why he died because we know the reason why he died. It's that simple. Hold on, bro. Like, this nigga, thing, bro. Like, there's things that everybody gotta work on, bro. But you still gotta be impressed with what you how far you came, and not let anybody take that away. You feel me? I mean, his bosses could be bigger than mine, but shit, I still got some. You hear me? You gotta really appreciate where you came from sometimes. That's all, man. I can still make these motherfuckers bounce. You feel me? No roids, nigga. No roids. Working out for just working out for 6 years. No roids, bro. Huh? Let me stand up for y'all, boy. The body itself is a flex. You don't need to be super juiced out, swolled up, bro. You can still have different avenues of income come in. Just keep going. Just like I am. Just keep going, bro. All that to start, all that extra TRT and fucking Anavol and, bro, no, bro. You start turning to something that you're not, bro. It's not cool. It don't help you out. You just end up dying at 40, nigga. Fuck on my face.